right here. All right. Hey, everyone, and welcome to our weekly Social Media Mondays. Really do appreciate you being here. So there's a number of you here already. Really thank you for being here. And this week I wanted to go a little bit further into our LinkedIn and social media training. So first of all, before we do that, let's kind of have a bit of a roundtable with the people that are here and want to participate. Where are you at with your LinkedIn goals? Have you reached those goals out of curiosity? And who wants to go first? Or
I'll go.
Okay, Diane.
My goal was to hit 1,000 by today.
Yes.
I am at 998.
Did you do the strategy we talked about?
I kind of have to, yes. I didn't delete everyone out, but I added new people. And
okay. Let's talk about the strategy that you used in order to increase, I think it was 48 people in 2 days, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty darn impressive, 48 people in 2 days. You do that over 25 people per day. I mean, that is an incredible, that's marketing. I mean, that's just amazing.
And that's 2 invites to podcasts potentially.
And 2 invites to podcasts as well. Okay, so tell us what you did. So I'll show everyone while you're talking. So what you did is you went in here, you went to see all of your connections. So you manage all your connections here like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you did is you looked at your sent invites. And you can see I have 211 people that I have connected with over the last little while. And what I recommended that you do was what? I recommended you withdraw all of your requests, right?
Yep.
So that you had no more requests whatsoever. They were all withdrawn. So go ahead. You talk about it.
So based on that, I went through and I started looking at people that I was already connected to, because what's showing up is the number of people that I have shared connections with. So where I have a large number of shared connections, which is anywhere between 30 and 70, there's some people like I have 116 mutual connections.
Yes.
I targeted those individuals, provided it fit in with my goal, which is to send my 1-question survey out to these people to ask them about the speed reading, whether they've taken a speed reading course or not.
Yeah.
So a lot of people in the healthcare industry I'm connecting to. So I'm essentially looking at VPs, directors, anyone who's in a position of authority, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Perfect.
To either take speed reading or photo reading in and of itself, or have connections to direct reports who may need the skill set.
Perfect.
Going forward. So that was kind of my approach.
Perfect. And it's working, obviously.
Yep.
That's great news. Perfect. So does anybody else here want to talk, or do you want to add a couple more points for everyone, or like tips and tricks that you've had, or anything, Diane?
Well, I haven't done, essentially I've just been sending the invites out, and then people are looking at my profile and then seeing what I have on there. So having a strong profile, I think, makes sense. Yeah. And I think my profile still could be stronger, but I think my one advantage is my skill set that I bring to the table. So that's one of the reasons why they're connecting to me, and having the doctorate behind me is helping.
It does. Yeah, for sure it does. Perfect. So who else wants to go around? Thanks, Dan. So 2 away from your goal. That's pretty darn good.
I'm hoping to be there by the time we finish the call.
That'd be great. Yeah, for sure. I'm not even actively growing mine. It just keeps on growing, just a little bits here and there, and it just kind of works out. So anybody else?
I was about to say that I downloaded the data that you had demonstrated before.
Yeah.
So I have the emails that I can send out invites to 700 contacts.
Yes.
For an upcoming event.
Great. And what are you doing to add people to your list? Are you target marketing?
I think that the event will increase, because going through groups or through a professional association, there will be some people reaching out to me.
Yeah, I saw that you got that to the PR association, so that was really cool. That was really awesome. Great. So you've got 700 people so far?
Yeah.
Okay. And are you looking to grow that for the rest of January?
Later.
Okay, so you're just focusing on an event right now.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Great. Anybody else want to go?
My target is 1,000 by the end of this month, but
wow,
we have reached around 150. So.
Perfect. So that's wonderful. That's wonderful, Jake. I think that's an awesome goal. And in order to do that, this is where because I want you to hit your goal, obviously. The way that we calculated that for Diane, and actually, Dan, do you want to talk about how we kind of calculated the strategy of how you could get that within 2 days and what you did and so on? Because 25 per day, I mean, that's you working it, right?
I can't say I did much on Saturday, but yesterday, today, and Friday, I was really pushing it. So essentially what I was doing is when I had free time, like, oh, I'm going to get on LinkedIn, I would literally go in and look at my connections, and I would, search through the index, and I would pick 10, 15, 20 people at a time and send the invitations out to people. So I wasn't doing it all at once, but I do 20 people here, 20 people there, 20 people there. And then as they started coming in, then I kept looking at, okay, so who else do I want that's connected to my market? And then I would search for those people. So
perfect.
That was kind of my approach.
Perfect. So one of the other things that we did is we also did the math, which I really wanted to tell everybody. And what we did is we said, okay, well, you needed 50 people for the next 2 days. And what we ended up doing is we ended up calculating. It's great that you made it into your own way, Diane, but we calculated it that what we approximately needed was to have about 200 people or 150 people to be connected to, and then out of that, X amount of people will say yes within the time frame that we desire, and X amount of people will say no within the time frame we desire. And that's how come we went in here to the manage all, and what we did is we just eliminated all of the invitations that were sent so that we can send another 100 or 200 brand new messages out to those individuals, right? Mm-hmm. So if you want to be able to do that, Jake, what you're talking about, to get 1,000 people by the end of the month, and you already have 150 people, so that means you need 850 people. That means that you would have to have a minimum of 25 connections per day. Ideally, you want to have more than 25. And I did the math. It's going to take 34 days for you to get the numbers that you want, making sure that you maximize 200 connections per day, and making sure that what you're doing is you're getting 25, getting those 25 hits. What's really important is to understand what Diane was talking about here earlier on, which is under your network, it's connecting with people that already have links. Very, very important. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to be getting yourself on a blacklist, so to speak. And we're going to be going through the 45 experts share their biggest LinkedIn marketing strategies. I figured that 45 LinkedIn marketing strategies for today would be pretty cool. I also went in and talked about how to market on LinkedIn, 10 tips for marketing on LinkedIn. And I think that's where each of us are at right now, starting with our own LinkedIn profile, creating an effective LinkedIn company page, defining your audience and goals, optimizing your company page for search engine optimization and so on, adding company page followers, publish and engage content in your company. So all of this these are the 10 tips that I was kind of looking at a bit earlier on, and I just wanted to make sure that you guys understand that that it's key to get a really good profile for your business. So I think that we have a couple more people to talk about where they're at with their business and with their LinkedIn goals. And I just want to show you guys that I'm currently working on mine all the time as well. So if we take a look at my LinkedIn profile here, I added something from way back when, and I said to you guys that I would. I actually added, you can come in. Thank you. I actually added these right here, if you can see. The Best in BC award I ended up getting way back when. And also here's the Best in BC. Remember, I'm putting on the testimonials. So that was from RBC. I got the Best in BC award. In 2006, I got that. I tried to actually put it up over here underneath the education or not education, but accomplishments, and it wouldn't actually allow me to put that in here under this right here. It wouldn't let me put pictures. So, you know, just constantly every week adding something more to your business is very, very important. I want to know exactly how you're doing that. Changing this up every week is also important to get better results. So are there any more comments before I kind of get into what the 45 experts say? And we can go back and forth. Any comments? Jason, you want to go?
Sure. So, right.
Remember, you're in a position right now where Jason, for you, it's good to start talking strategic alliances and also build that network, because you need to continue with that lead flow.
Yeah, for sure.
Go ahead.
And yeah, for this week, kind of my focus right now is more on my mom, on my mom right now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because the reason is, for the rest of you on the call, she's going in for surgery tomorrow. So
my prayers are with you.
Yeah, thank you.
100%.
Yeah, so I'm kind of really going to be much of this week's be spent focused on that, and between that, it's also getting proposals out the door as well.
Yeah, we talked about that last week on how we can streamline the proposal process and so on. But that does come into LinkedIn as well. So Let's take a look. Who here has their LinkedIn profiles working up and running to where they like it? Let's take a quick look on that. So Diane, let's have a quick look at Diane's and make sure that she's doing good here. Chief Learning Architect, Health Professionals. That's perfect.
I need to change it a bit so it's got that segmentation for the SEO, I suppose.
Yeah, that's right. So you're going to put the single line down in between it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I would also put and engaging both sides of the brain. I kind of like that. That's interesting. It makes me want to ask more questions. So you got this worked on, which is great. Oh, you got keywords: consultant, teacher, author, mentor, and coach, and entrepreneur. Nice. That's kind of cool. 998 followers. That's awesome. So one of the things that I'd like for you to add on here is your business right here.
Yeah, I need to create a
business profile by going up over here and creating a company page.
Yeah.
And we can talk about growing our company pages in the future. And perfect. So time to get some testimonials. Excellent. Yeah. So let's go. So here we have, you're doing pretty good from nothing.
Well, actually around 150. The other connections are for different purpose, not for restaurants.
Okay, well, still pretty good from nothing to 168. That's not bad. That's pretty darn good. Let's see what you wrote. Online. So one of the things that we were told is to use above the enter button, there's a straight line. Mm-hmm. If you use a straight line here, just the way this blue button is in between these things, mm-hmm. What you do is it gives it a better edge for search engine optimization, which is what you kind of want. Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, actually, the name for that straight line symbol, by the way, is called the pipe symbol.
Oh, the pipe symbol. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, pipe, or pipe for short.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. You got this up here, which is perfect. Mm-hmm. Excellent. Great. So what you want to do is you want to add some skills on here and just keep building out keep building it out.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I'd really love for you to put your picture over here, David. Just build this out.
Yep, thinking of changing the logo. So
yeah, I for right now, just put whatever logo up there. I've followed up with the virtual assistant, and I have not received a message back as of yet. So we might have to take a different approach, but that's so far pretty good. It's a nice picture of you. It's very nice. Perfect. Excellent. Great. And you have all this going on pretty well. Good. Excellent. All right. Actually, one of the things I want to also bring up for today was that David has actually got a LinkedIn campaign that he would like for us to go through. Would that be all right if we did that for him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. David, you're welcome to plug your campaign if you want.
Thank you.
So here it is. So email to LinkedIn contacts. I wanted to show you something for emailing LinkedIn contacts, because recently I actually did the exact same thing. You can see over here, I actually invited everyone this VIP invitation. So what I did is I just cut and pasted all of this, and I just did it to all the people that I thought would be interested, just exactly in the LinkedIn page like that. And the way that I did that is I went over here and for messaging. So what I did is, first of all, I went over here to my network. I saw my connections like this. And then what I did is I searched with filters. And then what I did is I did locations. And then I did Vancouver. And then I had 612 people locally. And then what I did is I just started messaging each of these people. You can see I messaged all of these people that were in Vancouver, every one of them. And all I did was, I didn't actually do them. So that's fine. I can send them a message right away. So just go like this, copy it. And I recommend doing it this way instead of sending a message, David. It's a little more tedious to do it this way, but you're interacting with individuals, and I recommend you do both. Send a message this way, and also send a message the other way with the downloaded links, if that makes sense to you. So do both. So marketing is about getting your message using multiple mediums in front of your target market. Let's take a look at what you have. Go ahead. Somebody was going to say something.
I was saying that a surprising number of people often say that they don't follow the LinkedIn messaging.
Yes, that is true. It only took me 10 years to finally start using it. Outrageous, eh? What was I doing before? Other marketing, obviously, right? So, but yeah, you're right, David. There is that does exist. Okay, so subject invitation to the webinar, name. So welcoming you and your colleagues to register on February 7th online webinar hosted by me to enable multiple organizations to manage public issues with crisis communications. With me, I would put your name, David Plug, with me, and then of course David Plug, Spark Plug, Communications.
Just got a LinkedIn connection request.
For me.
You just got one?
Yeah.
Oh, from Diane?
No.
That's awesome. Great. I love it. That's what we should be doing. In addition to sharing the 2018 risk levels and providing knowledge about crisis communication, strategy and tactics, we're also going to ask for you and other registrants to share their experience with successfully managing past crisis issues. I put past crisis and communication issues. Okay, can you write that in there, David?
Issues and crises.
Managing past invite you to register and share experience with successfully managing past communication, past crisis issues. Yes, would be best. The 1 hour webinar will be noon Pacific time on Wednesday, February 7th on a Zoom online interaction process with the meeting code XXX. Perfect. So we can deal with that tomorrow, what the code will be. To register for free, please sign in on Eventbrite. So you've decided to use Eventbrite instead of JotForm, which is totally cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, totally cool. You can, I was just giving you JotForm as a tool, right?
Be added to Eventbrite, right?
Yeah, if you wanted to add it to the Eventbrite, that's totally awesome. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. To see the participation, to see the presentation at noon, here's the link you can follow, and there's the Zoom link that you're going to be having them follow at noon on that day. Perfect. So on phone, one tap, so there's the ID meeting right there. I appreciate the invitation for me to host the presentation of the webinar online support is from the. So what is this? I didn't understand this part. Are you putting this in the email, David?
Yes, I thought if you're going to be the sharing host and the helper as a consultant.
Okay.
You invited me originally. I think it might need to be reworded though.
Okay. Yeah, I think, thank you to the Canadian marketing team for helping us launch this or set this up. That would be fine with me. If you're registered but unable to participate, receive the links. So what do you guys feel about this first message? How would you react if you saw this first message? When you see this first message, how would you react? Would you sign up right away? Do you want to learn about crisis management in your business? Okay, so there's not really much feedback that we're getting there, David. One of the things I'd really want to know is what kind of crisis management, like give me a couple of bullet points. Bullet points are really, really good. So go ahead.
That's what I was thinking is like, what is crisis? How are you defining crisis management? So how is it applicable to me? If I was in that situation, then I'd be more likely to attend if I knew the context for what you're talking about.
Correct. Did you get that, David?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
So add a little context about what crisis management is so that people who are looking at it thinking, okay, do I have this problem in my business? Yes or no? What's the problem point? What's the pain point for the individual so that they would want to come to your webinar?
Like how to deal with online trolls. What do you do with them? So that's one topic I'd like for you to talk about. How to, like really, what are we going to be going down? So just what you can do is you can pick 3 or 4 slides that address what Diane's major issues are. Because what we have right here is you got my attention, you got me into a beta, but near the end of it, I go back to an alpha and I'm not really that interested as much as I could be.
Yeah, from my perspective, I think I kind of blanked out partway through the message there. Not sure exactly where it was, but
probably right.
That would indicate that there's probably came across words I didn't understand the meaning of in there.
Yeah.
And because if that happens, like just FYI for any of you, if you're reading something, you get a part where you're suddenly just blank as to what you just read. Go to the beginning of that. There's a word right around that area that you didn't fully understand.
True.
And
true.
That's like what happened with me there. So if I didn't understand, there's a good chance others didn't too. And that'll. Yeah. Unfortunately, if you unfortunately give a person that phenomena, the rest of your message is going to go blank and they're not receiving it at that point.
And what's really interesting is that just recently, Jason and I actually had to deal with crisis management in one of his businesses that he's working with. We had to deal with that situation, right, Jason?
Yeah.
It would have been really nice to understand some of the principles on this. I think we dealt with it the right way, by the way, Jason.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yes.
But that would be
that particular situation. There isn't really, much we could have done to satisfy that individual.
Yeah, because you were satisfying it the whole way through. It's like, when it comes to crisis management, when is the crisis over, and when does it just become a I'm picking on you because I can scenario, right?
Yeah.
So or I'm trying to disrupt your business because I can scenario. So I think that all of us on the call have really had these crisis scenarios. I would like to see a couple more bullet points, David. So personally. So let's take a look at the email reminder. So I was a bit confused as to why you have A, B, C, D, E all the way to N.
That's just the Word document. It would be removed from the actual email.
Okay, so it's going to be basically like this is what you're talking about. Because I looked at that and I was like, okay, that's interesting. Like I want to just understand why, you did that. And I was like, oh, if that's some kind of marketing strategy, I wanted to hear about it. So, all right. So here's the subject. and I'd like for you guys' opinion. So we're getting an opinion already for the first one here. And by the way, this is what these events are about. These events on Mondays are about you putting your ads together and us taking a look at it one by one by one. All right. So when you have your stuff set up, this is where we can actually make it real, because this is what these groups are about. It's a focus group. So subject is reminder. So remember, on my reminders, when I send a reminder out, what do I send a reminder? Guys, who's receiving all of my messages?
Me.
Diane, are you paying attention to what I'm actually writing?
Yep, I check it out every single time just to see, because I'm always curious about how to market my own messages.
And what do you find is different between mine and some of the others?
You're very to the point. You're recapping the event.
Yep.
And what you're going to get out of it for attending.
Exactly right, including free lunch.
Yep.
And what is the one thing that we've all received in our subject line that really gets us? It's a reminder you have an appointment coming up. Reminder you have a lunch date with me. Reminder we're going to have lunch together. Reminder I'm buying you lunch. It's always the bribe. So I'm using the bribe in order to get people's attention. But I play around with it, right? So, I mean, every single month when we do our presentations, I'm always convinced that it's not going to be a very good turnout, and all of a sudden we're a packed room. So I mean, something must be working. It's either the people are coming because they like the free lunch, or the information is good. But when you're taking a look at your subject, reminder, February 7th, Surviving Crisis Communications webinar. So what I really want to know is, I want to know how you can get me into my beta mode so that I pay attention and I'm learning something here. That's what I want to know. So in all the emails I send out, Diane, do I give a bit of information, like some good, decent education? Sometimes, yes. Other times, no, right?
You vary it to make sure that, because that's the way people stay attentive is, oh, what's being shared today?
Correct.
And the free lunch is always in there.
Yes.
There's usually a little segue about, there's usually one thing that you're focusing on in that email that reminds them of why they should attend.
Yeah, exactly. Precisely. And I mean, like, guys, if you can do it better, then please do. I want to know. I mean, this is what a mastermind is about, is making each of us better. So here with the subject line, I would come up with a couple really, if this is just your second email reminder, what are you going to be bribing them with? So reminder, February 7th, Surviving Crisis Communication webinar and special bonuses. Because we all want special bonuses. All of us. All of us, I mean, every one of us wants a special bonus. Is there anyone here that does not want a special bonus? Because then I'll be wrong, and I'm okay with being wrong.
I mean, what are the top 3 things that you could do to manage your crisis?
Perfect. Yeah.
Like just a report, like a 1-page report that says, okay, I'm in crisis mode. What do I do?
That actually, Diane, would be a perfect thing to offer as, say, a lead magnet to get more people, David, onto your email list.
Yes.
And then that can pair with any other type of traffic generating strategy you're doing, whether it's social media, paid pay-per-click advertising, running them through a landing page.
Yeah, perfect.
Also what's known as a squeeze page.
Yeah, I love everything you're saying. And just to add to that self-liquidating offer, the top 3 communication challenges we all have and how to overcome them. I want to know that. That's a really good
headline.
Thank you. The top 3 communication challenges we all have and how to overcome them. I want that. I seriously do. I'd be willing to trade my email for something like that, David.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to give everything, but I do want to give something that interests them.
But hold it, top 3.
Exactly.
Top 3. And then in that free paper, just say, come to our next event, and you'll get another 10 awesome ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And also, don't be afraid to give up, even possibly give up.
But that creates the hook to want people to come in.
Emails as well. Mm-hmm. When you're doing your email follow-ups, program automate, you can give them a 4th sneak tip of something like that. And you can even have a 5th one you can throw it onto a social media post.
Yeah, precisely. I want to kind of go through this. So, sharing how to use crisis communication to successful managing public issues. So, one of the things, I work with engineers, and actually, I work with professionals. One of the issues, and I have to say that Diane, actually, you don't suffer from this, which is really great. It's professional language. Mm-hmm. You have to be careful about using industry jargon. You have to get away from it, David. When I was working with an engineer, we were putting in proposals to city workers. And what we did is I found that he was using tons of industry lingo, tons. And so what we did is we just literally dumbed it down. we odinized it. And he ended up getting a 10% increase in all of his sales. And for him, a 10% increase meant paying off his strata property within 12 months, which was, I think, a couple $100,000. So he made an extra couple $100,000 by just not using industry jargon to the best.
Which makes sense, because if you look at what I was just talking about earlier, that if you give a person a word they don't understand, or they understand incorrectly, and they blank out, or another phenomenon I was experiencing as well earlier was you're starting to get drowsy and yawning, or like fighting yawns and all that.
And that's because there's not enough interaction. But yes.
Well, no, actually, that was because of misunderstood words.
Oh, I see.
Pulling me out of this whole workshop.
Yeah, for sure.
And that actually was a really bad phenomena of it, is when a person's starting to get, when you're starting to get like sleepy, drowsy. That's really bad, because basically what it isn't actually that you're being sleepy or just bored or anything like that. It's a case of you're actually going semi-unconscious when that happens. So so think about it. If you're doing a sales presentation with someone and your audience is going semi-unconscious, what are your chances of getting the sale, right? You've
precisely
boned yourself. So
I know.
So if you do have to use a technical word anywhere, my policy is at least like put in brackets, put the definition of it right beside it, so that you head that off right away, because you've given a person a word they may not understand the meaning of, then you've given them the definition of it right away. So they never have a chance to slip into that, that phenomena.
I like it, Jason. And so in this particular case, sharing how to use crisis communication to successfully manage public issues and to hear about your issue experience, please register. Too many words, and you're not going to get the conversion that I think that you would like to get in this particular for this particular second reminder email. If you remember the 3 steps of communication, the headline that we just went through, that would be a really good headline. And then what I would do is I would put step number 1, step number 2, get step number 3, a little thing, get the full review when you get the download, attend our special event, and also get that special report. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for you to move me beyond this and give me real education, because all you're giving me right now is you're competing with my time and other places. You have to tell me that, you have to show me why you are more important to go and attend than another event on February the 7th. And if we were to take a look at events that are happening February the 7th, let's take a quick look over here. On February the 7th, let's take a look at the calendars right here. So here's February 7th. There's nothing going on at noon, I don't think. So February the 8th, February 7th, Connect Now Langley. Connect Now with Business Network. So there it is, Surrey Business Networking. So there's really no competition that you have right now for February the 7th on Wednesday at noon for a 1-hour presentation. So that means that you can definitely 100% get the eyes to view it, but you have to make it a lot more interesting, a lot more. I think that, putting bullet points here as to what I'm going to be getting through the presentation would really help me make a decision whether or not I want to attend. Let's go to number 3, and then let's get on to the 45 experts. So in about 24 hours, so this is your review. So there's a couple issues. First of all, the first email is fine and your second email is fine, other than the suggestions we made. I would like for you to add an additional 3 basic messages, David. Okay? 3 more. And just mix them up a little bit. Okay? Reason being is because we can send out a message every single day. And you can see that last week I sent out a message on Tuesday, Thursday, even Friday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That's 4 messages. I sent a message today as well. And I'll send him another message tomorrow as a reminder. So how many messages is that before I send a final reminder email? And that's not including the reminder emails that I give out to individuals 2, 3, 4, 5 days beforehand. So here's so I would really, really recommend, so 3rd week before the final reminder, you need at least a few more reminders. I would really recommend. So in 24 hours will be some webinar. So again, I'd recommend bullet points, just saying, add a few more different bullet points. So in the first email, what you have is you add a few bullet points of what they're going to get and just say, and then you add a few more bullet points of what they're going to get and a few different bullet points. So what you're doing is you're adding to it. So maybe you add 3 or 4, then you add 5 or 6, and then 7, 8, or 9, and then just experiment with that. Here's an alignable message. Come and see my webinar on how to survive a business crisis by using successful crisis. This is a great headline.
Okay.
This is a far better headline than the ones I've seen above. Do you guys agree with that?
Can you read it again?
Come and see my webinar February 7th on how to survive a business crisis by using successful communication strategies and tactics.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a really good one. Yeah, that's a great headline. Perfect. To register for a 1-hour webinar that lasts until endline ad. Yeah. Presenter David Plug and additional host Odin Zaver, Canadian marketing team. Perfect. I like this one. This is great. And you can please feel free to copy the ones that I've got too. So special invitation, special invite. So this one is good. This one's great. So tonight what I'll do is I'll go and remind everyone again on Alignable and just send another message on Alignable. And post to LinkedIn communication. So perfect. So I think that just adding a few more education points would be the best. But I think that in general, you're on the right track. How do you guys feel?
There are about 30,000 people in that LinkedIn group, obviously international. So that's to start conversations. I asked them to put on their questions and what they knew, their experience. Feel free to give a review on the content, though. I welcome your review, your feedback.
On all this, you mean, which we just did?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just gave you all the feedback. I'm thinking if you can add a few more bullet points and a bit more education in order for us to not go back into the alpha mode where we actually stay paying attention, that would be very, very positive. Very positive, as a matter of fact. So can you try reworking it just a little bit and send me another version for us to go through tomorrow?
Certainly.
Perfect. Great. Great. Does anybody else have stuff to go through?
Not today.
Perfect. So let's go through what the 45 experts are sharing, their biggest LinkedIn marketing strategies. So actually, I spent quite a bit of time researching a whole bunch of LinkedIn messages. So we've got this one right here. I've got this one here. It's the top 12 LinkedIn tools for boosting sales. I also have this one right here.
Can you enlarge that window, please?
Pardon me? Pardon me?
Can you enlarge the window you have your LinkedIn in, please?
Is this
Can you
one good?
enlarge the window your LinkedIn is in, please?
Enlarge?
Yeah, because it's a little bit small.
Enlarge the window my LinkedIn is in. Like this? You mean? Like that?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, I was having a hard time seeing what was on your screen.
Is this better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, good. All right. So on the one that I chose, because I went through, a whole bunch of different articles, 14 free LinkedIn tools that'll grow your business like wildfire. And then there's just a whole bunch of other stuff that I was looking at. So this is the one that I decided that today would be the best for us to take a look at. So as you well know, there's millions and millions of people on LinkedIn. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to see what are the top 45 experts recommending. So let's talk about Neil. So you can, and what I'll do is I'll send this in an email for all of us. So I've got all of these links that I've got already. So I've got all these links that I'll be able to send into an email to you. So writing posts just for LinkedIn is the fastest way to grow your brand and connections on LinkedIn. So if you were going to be writing posts, what is one post that you can write each and every single week? That is a really good exercise for each of you to write down what is one post you would like to write each week. Just one post a week. What do you guys think? Just tell me what you would like to do. What would you like to write your post about? Takes a lot of thinking, doesn't it?
Mine would probably be on a reading tip.
A reading tip, perfect.
Yep.
So I mean, like and it's really interesting, Diane, because I am reading a ton, and I really want to retain that information. So I really do need those reading tips, and I need for you to link me to each reading tip that you give every single time, so that I make sure that I read it.
Okay.
Perfect. What else? Anyone else? So you guys see the suggestions I gave to her, right? Anyone else?
Yeah. For me, I would say marketing tips and the occasional cybersecurity tip.
Yeah, and I really do think that sales funnels is going to be really important for you moving forward.
Yeah.
Jason, because you create sales funnels, right? So if you could, you have a whole array of stuff that you're already posting up on LinkedIn. Recently, you just did one on SEO, as a matter of fact. So David, what about you?
Yeah, I agree that business performance, but also professional development.
Perfect.
LinkedIn. So posting about topics in your business and your professional area, which should be fine.
Right. Perfect. So, and Jack.
I'm not a good writer, so I'm.
Well, guess what? None of us are. Oh, excuse me. Maybe Diana's. What I mean to say by that is that we're all developing those same skills. And so for you, for instance, it would be maybe doing a product case study on a weekly basis, where what you do is you pick one client as a loss leader. You go in and your sales team converts them to a brand new POS system, and you do that at your cost, and you help them with their website, and you promote that. Here's another person on our POS system. Here's another person on our POS system. You build that education that way in order to get people interested in what the POS is. And then you start taking a look at other articles. And that's one of the interesting things, that you don't have to always post your own articles. You can post other people's articles as well. So here you see me going and sharing 45 experts. So what if I were to do like the best tips for choosing a POS system? So it's about knowing how to look and write. So here are some tips, key ways to choose a retail POS. Right there. There's the tips. So you can take those tips from wherever it is. You take those tips.
Okay.
Right? And you can even, what you could even do is you can copy and paste this into your LinkedIn if you wanted to. Or what you could do is you could just take you can take these are the top. So the retail point of sale system is one of the most critical investments a small business and medium business can make. So why don't you just copy this headline, right? Remember, we're not doing anything for copyright, because as long as you're taking less than 25% of the materials, you don't have to give credit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I always do my best to keep within 25%, and I try to make an original out of my own. And then what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll take a few headlines that I like, right? and then I'll post those on mine. And on the bottom of it, if I really truly want, I can take this, I can copy this, and I can put that into my LinkedIn at the bottom. And I can put in, there's a whole bunch of things that I can do. It's knowing how to post what's really key. Mm-hmm. It's not that you can't write, it's knowing how to do the research and how to have your sales team do the research. Okay. So an example of that would be Facebook. This weekend I decided that I was going to go and do some marketing for rent to own. I ended up getting 22 leads with one post. Now I have to follow up. One post. 1 week. One post on, I think I did it on Friday evening. I did one post. I got 22 leads. Woohoo! You know, that's what you want. That's a funnel. I don't have to do that all the time, right? So for you, and all I do is, for me, I just type in rent to own, and then I go to 5 or 6 different rent to own sites. I compile from those 5 to 6, 10 to 25% of each one that I like, and I create my own. Diane, is that the right way to do it? I should ask an educator.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. If you can put your own spin on what you see, then that adds value as well.
Precisely.
Also, one thing is, if you happen to come across information from a very high profile or high trusted source, don't be afraid to cite the source either, because
I agree.
That lends credibility to you that you're. Or if there's someone did a study, for example, like if you ever take a look back in the history of my blogs, for example, you'll actually notice one of the articles I was talking about those top of website slideshows and why they're a bad choice for your website. And there's actually somebody that did some extensive research into it, so I really heavily quoted and linked to that other person's article that actually did some primary research on that, about where people are looking and what they're clicking on when those things are there versus not there.
Absolutely. Whatever makes your business easier right now, Jack, that's what really you're looking for. Okay, so this is interesting. Ted Rubin says, stop sending out LinkedIn invites without a personal note. And best if the notes offer some reason as to why you're connecting. Do you remember in the early days we were doing that? And then all of a sudden a couple people were saying, that doesn't work. Just send out connection requests. And so we all just started doing that and get a better response. It's funny. But here it is, Ted Rubin saying, don't do that. Especially if you're a B2B company, to be sure that the company profile, be sure to have a company profile on LinkedIn, and encourage all employees to have a profile as well. So I thought that was really interesting, to make sure that all your employees and people you're working with have a LinkedIn profile. Each person has a talent and a strength they contribute to your business and can be highlighted with the company's keywords. So this is interesting. So make sure, Jack, that you're getting all your employees to be on LinkedIn, every single one. All right. And everyone that you're working with, remember that your employees are your company's best resources. Make the most, of their passion and individuality. So I thought that was pretty good. Here's educate and inform instead of interrupt and sell. That's a really, really good one here from David. Most salespeople are marketers, steeped in the tradition of providing advertising in the tradition of product advertising, naturally feel drawn to share their product and services on LinkedIn, obviously. But nobody really cares about your product or service except you. What they really are reading is to see how you can best benefit them. So what people really care about is themselves and how you can solve their problems. So people are also like to be entertained and share to share something remarkable. In order to have people talking about you and your ideas, you must resist the urge to hype your product and services on LinkedIn. Instead, create something interesting that will be talked about online. Really important. So right now, each of us is doing something that can be talked about online. And what we got to do is we got to think strategically, because everyone here on the call today, we are all our ideal referral partners. Everyone here today, we are our ideal referral partners. And so how can each of us make sure that we're saying something remarkable and interesting in our posts? That's an interesting point. Social media. Here's another one. So social media can help you grow through building relationships with influencers, which I thought was a really interesting one, relationships with influencers. So what you want to do is, who's an influencer in your area? Who would be the influencers? Take a look at those. The most important way of social media can help you grow your business is through building relationships with influencers. Follow them, share their comments, and interact. They may have tens of thousands of followers that they will share your business with, in which you will get results now instead of later after you've grown your own audience. So that was a really important part, social influencers.
Twitter did a survey where they said that 40% of accountants said that they would accept to buy things that their influencers share as things that are worth. So I thought that was pretty good percentage.
That is pretty cool. Yeah. So here's interesting. Here's something more. The ideal background image size for LinkedIn. Talks about the pixels. We already talked about that. Make sure that you have a professional looking headshot of yourself and your photo. You can also create customized backgrounds with color branding and messages of your business. And then this is this person right here. This person's back. So what they did is they want real ROI from your social media? Contact me. Social selling training, Twitter training, social media marketing, keynote speaking, and brand influencer. So that was Kim's right there. And you can see she's got 21,000 followers. So she would be an influencer. There's her experience. And you can see right here, selling pros. And she uses this little diamond thing right there, you can see, to separate instead of commas. Should be kind of cool. Boom social. So it's saying what she does. And then just social media more right there. She's got a couple of added connections in there. You can see that these are broken links. And then she has 99 plus on all of her skills. Look at that. That's insane. That's where I want to be. You know, she's got 49 given recommendations. That's really great. You know, that's exactly where we want to be. So it's a great example because it's showcasing her latest free product opt-in on her main page. Other professionals prefer to simply have pictures of themselves or give a more personal feeling to their visitors. The ideal background size is, and you can check out PicMonkey or Canva for custom pics. When growing your network, it's important to know how to do it in a way that won't hurt your profile. For example, one thing that many people don't know is that if you ask a connection from someone that they don't know and they decide to tell LinkedIn that they don't know you, it counts negatively towards your profile. So the idea here is that's if we're just clicking those connect buttons. So we got to really do our best to make sure if it's someone that we don't know, like over here, for instance, let's take a look at the network. We go to our network over here. We only have a couple of shared connections. So I'm actually going and I'm connecting with a bunch of individuals that I don't have shared connections with. These are easy connections for me. But do I really want to be connecting with these individuals? I may know them already. Oh, I know Robert. That's funny. I didn't know that he was a CPA. That's hilarious. So I mean, like, the idea is to be able to connect with all kinds of people. The easiest low-hanging fruit is connecting with others that you know as well in your network. So LinkedIn has a lot of authority to make your name unique. So it'd probably end up being on the first page if you do a good job with your LinkedIn, which is kind of what you want. So your headline should also have your main skills, and I'm constantly working on my headline as well. So next here, and you look, we're only on number 6. So I think that we can if we spent the whole week going through these 45, would you say that we'd probably be better at LinkedIn than last week? I'd say so.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So so this one here is one strategy can be super successful is browsing the full-time jobs of your type of work. Pretty cool, eh? This one is great. For freelancers, one of the strategies can be a super successful browsing of full-time. So this guy ended up pitching freelance work while they were making a hire. They got $1 a gig work. That was great. And they ended up actually being a go-to person whenever that new person they hired ends up quitting. So sometimes freelance work is probably the best kind of work. By the way, I'll be using that one this week. So much to do. So much to do. So here's another one. Being human is my #1 marketing strategy on LinkedIn. I engage, I chat, I connect, I share values, I respond, I like, I bond. That's the secret. Go ahead. Jack?
Yes.
You were going to say something?
Oh, no, sorry.
Okay. So the only marketing you need to do on LinkedIn is heart-centered. Be social, be helpful, be engaging, and be human. I think that's probably the best one right here. True. I found that I am getting much more results when I'm interacting with people. What I also find is that there's not enough hours in the day in order to interact with absolutely everybody. So help first, sell later, create a customer for life. That I've used that strategy many, many, many times. Many times. It really does work. So here's find LinkedIn groups that have actual discussions going on in your niche and participate in them. And then I'll go through just the headlines. So, and then because we have only 2 more minutes. On LinkedIn, put your best foot forward. You don't have to put all your feet forward at once. So if you notice, it's an ongoing business building process. And by the way, as you build it, it doesn't go away. It just gets better and better and better. I've been headhunted. So can you. LinkedIn is a connection-oriented platform, lead-oriented platform, and prospects are already targeted. All they need to know is connect and what you can do for them. Post about 20 posts a month, once a week, allows you to reach 60% of your audience. Look at that. 1 time a week. That's all we're posting. 20 times a month. Pretty good? So one day, so basically what you're doing is you're posting one thing every single day about what it is you're doing. So today I posted an interview. Oh, by the way, tomorrow I'm doing an interview with Sarah Shakespeare. And I would love it if you guys can come and be a participant and listen to that. It's going to be something unique and interesting. And let me just see if I actually put that onto the LinkedIn. So let's just take a quick look. Okay. I just put 45 experts share their info. So there's that, and there's these right here. So I guess, no, I didn't put that on there just yet. It's on my Facebook page, though. Right here.
One thing I just thought of, that might be a good thing for us to do when we find any of these types of useful information online.
Yeah.
Is perhaps create a closed LinkedIn group for just all of us.
Do you want LinkedIn or do you want Facebook? I prefer Facebook groups. I'm on it much more, but I don't mind a LinkedIn group either. It's fine. Which do you guys prefer?
I tend to be on Facebook more, but that's just me.
I'm on Facebook way more too. I actually am much more active on Facebook. But I don't.
For me, I'm most active on LinkedIn.
Are you really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Because I don't mind.
I was just thinking also because we're focusing mostly on LinkedIn, and that would kind of also.
Well, that's only the way that it happens to be, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, I'm way over the amount of stuff that I can actually put on here, so I'm gonna leave that for later on. But anyway, there's an event happening tomorrow that you guys can be a part of. It's going to be pretty interesting. So want to stand out on LinkedIn, share awesome content that helps target group of people solve their biggest struggle. And we're over time. So how about I send this to you guys with this recording? Did you guys get any benefit out of today?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, for sure.
Perfect. David, Jack, you got benefit?
Encouragement.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start posting these. I'm thinking maybe one every day in order to start creating that connection, because you mean like there's so many. I mean, this is gonna look. This is like 20 pages long kind of thing. So I really think that I'll send this off to you guys, and actually I've already posted it on Facebook and LinkedIn. So I really recommend you can go and check it out on Facebook and LinkedIn, and you can actually like it at the same time, because that'll actually get me onto your Facebook profile as well. So I really, really recommend that. All right.
Okay.
Can you believe the day just went by so quickly? I mean, I can't even believe an hour goes by that quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Is there any closing remarks?
Thank you, David and Jason. I've hit 1,000.
You saw my last minute request. Huh?
That's fantastic news.
And I had a couple other people who accepted as well. So I'm 1,003.
That's great. So this is how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be using the LinkedIn tool while we're talking as well.
Yep.
That's how it's supposed to be. All right, perfect. Great.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you again. I think tomorrow is our next meeting, because tomorrow is social media. Tomorrow is our a newsletter. I think it's at noon. Let me just stop sharing, and I'll stop the recording. And I can see you all. Perfect. And I'll stop.